Good evening, everyone. This is Joanne Nistico, Shackley Master Coordinator. It's August 14th, and tonight we're going to present insights from the OPA Masters that were there at the Global Conference. So if you have any questions for us, we'd love to help you by answering them. And we hope you've invited some guests tonight because we really feel that this conference was one of the best ever. It was so informative, so exciting. I didn't make last year, and this year I went with my two children, and what a difference it made for their thinking about Shackley. It really is inspiring and uplifting, and the camaraderie and partnership with other people really inspire everyone. So we're here to encourage you to take a look at when they announce it, signing up for next year. Tonight, joining me, we have Presidential Master Coordinator Rob Loomis and Carolyn Whiteman, Master Coordinators Alan Sherapin, Shifra Lefkowitz, and Barb and Ray Madoran. So we are a jam-packed call for an hour, and I hope and ask all speakers to be on point with your topic so that we can get all the information in. So without further ado, I want to thank Rob for agreeing to speak this tonight, and also for his wonderful dinner that he did for us in Anaheim, the OPA Shackley dinner. Rob, you especially carry the mantle of the OPA organization for your mother, Mary, and father, Gary, whom we've all respected so highly. So Rob, would you please share some statistical strength of our organization? I know that's one thing that really, kind of tickled my children about how OPA is in the top 10. So go ahead, Rob, and you're also going to talk about exciting news of EWG, Environmental Working Group certification.
Okay, so I apologize for some reason, although I'm connected with audio, I'm not connected with video, but in a way, this would be the time not to be connected, because here's an archival photo taken about the year 2000. I'm the tall, skinny guy to the right. My mother is the redhead to the left, and my father is the one seated in the chair. And they're seated in front of Altus birds. Altus birds were prizes, statuettes that were given to people who qualified for an incentive trip that used to be enforced, the President's Club trip. And my parents won those awards because of the organization that they had built, and which is still very much in existence. OPA stands for Organic Products Associates. It's the name that my mother devised because she realized early on that our organization would be much bigger than us, and she didn't want it to be called the Loomis organization. So that's Organic Products Associates. It consists of 13 first-level directors, or first-level business leaders, I should say, right under us, more than 200 business leaders in all, 50,000 members, 11 generations of business leaders, and 23 generations of members, and it comprises about 5% of Shackley North America. My mother got into Shackley to regain her health. She had contracted in Hawaii, and I'll say something more about Hawaii because it's topical for tonight. But on the other end of Maui, from Lahaina, she was on a dude ranch and ate some meat which was infected. It gave her something called undulant fever, which caused her temperature to go up and down every day. That wasn't life-threatening, but it was debilitating, and she lost all of her energy and drive in her business, in her life. She just stayed in bed all day. And then an old friend of hers called her up and asked her what she was up to, and Mom told her, and she said, well, if the doctors can't cure you, you might want to try these products, these Shackley products, which won't cure you, but will help your body cure itself. And that's exactly what happened to Mom. She regained her health. And because of her success in doing that, she became an advocate and indeed a missionary for the benefits that Shaklee provides for physical, mental, emotional, and financial health, which it certainly provided to her and is now providing to me. And that's one of the great advantages of Shaklee. It's a business that you can pass down to your children or other beneficiaries, in most cases free of any kind of estate or other kind of tax. There are not many businesses where you can develop a stream of residual income that pays you month in and month out, year in and year out. And then after you die, you can pass it down to your children. And that's been a great benefit for me and for many of the business leaders in our organization who've been able to pass their businesses on to the next generation. One of the things that struck me that Roger Barnett said in Anaheim was that when he looked at a lot of different businesses, he wanted to get into a new business in the early 2000s, and he looked for about 3 years. And eventually he zeroed in on the health and wellness business because he realized that that was an investment where he couldn't fail. It was inevitable that he would succeed because with the baby boomers reaching middle age, the US population would inevitably be drawn to and indeed demand products that would keep them young in body and mind. And that led to the first of the 3 major announcements made at this conference called Generation Health. But I won't say anything more about that because I suspect somebody else on this call will do it. But the thought I want to leave with you all is that you, along with Roger Barnett, are in a business that simply cannot fail. There will always be a demand for our products. And because our products are superior to those of our competitors, you will be in a great competitive advantage. Now, one thing that was not on the program for Anaheim, it wasn't on the printed agenda and took me by surprise, was a speaker named Ken Cook, who was introduced by Sloan Barnett. And he was the founder and is currently the co-CEO of something called Environmental Working Group, EWG. And the background for that is that in the early 90s, he discovered that there are only 11 harmful ingredients certified by federal agencies, harmful chemicals certified by the FDA, the US Department of Agriculture, the Environmental Protection Agency, but only 11. In the European Union, on the other hand, there are 1,388 harmful chemicals that are banned, or at least people are warned about. And so he has taken it upon himself with this organization to certify products that don't have any of these 1,400 or so harmful ingredients. And he's begun with 11 products that do not, actually there are 2,500 harmful chemicals, 11 products that do not have them, 11 Shaklee products. And the first group are all in the body line, the exfoliant, body serum, body lotion, body wash, deodorant, lip serum, mascara, gel mask, clay mask, and so on. But this is really impressive. You can tell yourself and tell your customers and your ambassadors that Shaklee meets a test that no one else meets. We've known this all along. We're the only company that has this slew of clinical studies, but this is an additional arrow in our quiver, an additional selling point for Shaklee products. And I encourage you to go on the website. If you just go on Google and Google EWG Shaklee, you can find the 11 products that have been certified so far. So I think that that's all I'll say at the moment. Oh, There was a question that just came into me today from Donna Titus, who asked if anybody in Lahaina was in our organization. And it's true that my parents built quite a business in Maui, and that their first condominium was just outside of Lahaina. But fortunately, and we had friends who were distributors, actually, in another part of Maui who kept their boat in Lahaina. And I thought of them when this news came down. I used to go out sailing with them, and indeed, one of the persons interviewed on NPR the other day was just such a person who lived in the other part of the island, and he barely escaped getting in his boat. His GPS didn't work, his cell phone didn't work, but he just went out in the channel and ended up across the channel at the island of Lanai. So that was a terrible tragedy in Maui, but fortunately, no OPA casualties in that. So I think I'll stop there.
Well, that's great news, Rob. And thank you so much for the information. We're in the top 10 of income earning businesses in all of OPA. So we can feel very proud of what the Loomis organization has developed. My favorite product in Shaklee, besides all the nutritional products and all those products, is the business opportunity. The business opportunity was so important to me and is my favorite my favorite product. So I have Alan Sherapin on tonight, who's going to share some excitement about the business opportunity and what he and some friends have planned, and maybe give a little bit of help on some prospecting ideas, because I'm sure all of us need that help. So Alan.
Thank you very much, Joanne, and good evening, everybody. It's really nice to see you, and sorry we didn't see all of you in Anaheim, California. But next year we're going to see you that'll be announced in October. Very exciting. So a group of master coordinators got together and said, we need to promote the business more actively. Does anybody agree with that? Put your hand up if you do. Okay. So what we're going to do, we got together and we're setting up a call that is open to everybody in Shaklee. The call will be like 20-25-minute business presentation focusing on the benefits. The idea of which is for you to bring a new product, new prospect, and then they'll hear these business benefits and get excited about that and the person who's presenting. And then we'll tell them to go to the person who introduced them or brought them for the details. In other words, we're going to sell the sizzle and you're going to sell the steak. Okay. Now, the way we're going to do that, we have a group of 8 master coordinators. It'll be a different person presenting each week. I don't know what the order will be yet. We haven't determined that. But the people who will be presenting are powerful name list here. Jeff and Jane Henderson, our own Shifra Lefkowitz, Katie and Sam Odom, Albert and Lori Ramos, Anna and myself, Dawn and Pat Semeka, Jeannie and Steve Tuvell, and Cheryl and Marty Turner. So that's 8 different masters. So it'll be a different presentation every 8 weeks because each master will use whatever presentation they want to present it. Can you imagine when you bring a new person to that and they hear that from some excited master coordinator presenting the benefits? What could that do for your business? Terrific, right? Say yes. Now, when you bring a new person, at the conclusion of the call, we'll have new people register and we will draw a name, and that person will be eligible to receive a free product as a gift. Pretty exciting, right? So September 7th, and again, we'll have this posted in many different places. It's just getting the 14th. I was changed to the 14th, Anna said. She's the COVID lady in the other room. So it's September 14th. Sorry about that. I have 7th in my notes. Any questions? We'll be excited to see.
I am excited. I think it's great. I can't wait. Now I'm just going to have to lasso a whole bunch of people.
That's right. That's right. every week. Well, thank you, and hope to see you all.
I can't wait, Alan.
Good, good, good. So would you want prospecting ideas, Joanne?
Yeah, I think people sometimes run flat, you know, they end up, I know I do, and need to think of new ideas, creative ideas. And I know that you've been in the insurance business and you've done a lot of prospecting over the years and you're always doing it. So maybe just some few helpful tips, and
All
then
right.
we can pass on it to Shifra.
Okay, number one, invite people to the session that's going to be starting on September 14th, Thursday night. But I had a conversation with the guy. He's a car salesman. And I bought my car from him. He's an elderly gentleman, really neat guy, spry, doesn't look, sound, or his age or anything. In fact, he's Generation H. But he told me some things he did in his business. I said, wow, if Shackley people did this, we'd never have a prospecting problem. He has a file of people, several hundred names. He calls 5 to 7 people a day just to say hello on a regular, consistent basis. And he's retired now, but he does this just to keep active. And of course, his son is now a car salesman at that same place, so he probably passes on active leads. But doing that contact, if we were to do that with our groups, your whole group, if you started contacting 3 or 4, 1 or 2 even a day of people that you haven't talked to probably in months or even years, what do you think that would do to your business? I think that would really kickstart it immensely. So maybe you want to give that a try. And then he also told me something else, which I thought was terrific. He said, if he's standing in a grocery store, he'll be looking at somebody. He doesn't know the person. They don't know him. He'll say, how you doing? Start up a conversation and just get to know the person. And isn't that what we want to do in Shackley? Start up a conversation with a new person and then take it from there. I said, that's really awesome. So try those 2 things and see if they can help you in building your Shackley business.
I
Okay?
think Ann Westergaard also gave, you know, she's just friendly, she asks questions, she wants to meet people. And I'm sure that the forefront is just to have conversations and get to know them. But when you get to know someone, the right people will be attracted enough to want to be with you. So thank you, Alan, so much. Now we're going to turn it over to Shifra. Shifra is going to be talking about the wellness communities, which I am so super excited about. And she had some great ideas that she shared with the masters at the master meeting in Anaheim. Shifra?
Hello, Joanne, and thank you for inviting me. It's an honor to share on this call. And I agree with you, Joanne. I was not at the conference last year, and it's just not the same. When you know, last year I was asking people like, oh, what was there and what was going on? And, you know, you can't get that feeling. But I was able to attend and I was there, and I don't want to miss it again. It's something about the spirit and the energy being amongst positive Shackley family. And also, you know, the best part was meeting with my team. Luckily for me, I had couple of people coming from Los Angeles area, so it was just a drive for them, and some of the people I have never met before, so it was just an amazing experience of meeting my team and the Shackley family. And when you come home and you're back in your little office alone, the inspiration of there are other people, hundreds and thousands of other people out there doing what you're doing. So if we can just catch this spirit between ourselves, you're not alone. We're in this together. And make sure you come and join every month the OPA team, so you can have that feeling of belonging to this amazing Shackley family. And and like Joanne said, the people that were there and heard that OPA is 5% of North America, they could not believe it. Like, wow, we belong to this team. this is unbelievable. So this feeling gives you that confidence, and that's what we need, that confidence in sharing this opportunity and what the value is of it. So the more confident you are, the more attractive you're going to become. So what does conference do? It builds confidence and belief. Now we are in the right industry, the right company, and in the right family. So thank you, Rob, for holding this together. We appreciate all you do for us, and it's something special. Okay, so how do we attract people? This is like that big question, and this is where wellness communities come in. Shackley has done a lot of training on wellness communities, and I know last week there was a Zoom, and this week there are going to be trainings on wellness communities. So I really advise you to join them and learn more the details. I'll give you a little bit of the attraction, like why do we need to do it, so you really could understand the importance of it and how it could change your business. How do we stay attractive? We're not as, the things we did 15, 20 years ago is not attractive to the people we want to attract today. So how are we attractive? Okay. And I had a conversation with someone last week, a young girl. She has one baby. And I was telling, we were brainstorming about attraction. How could Shackley become more attractive? We lost our attraction in our community. So she's giving me an example of this clothing store in her neighborhood that everybody is going to because they do something special. And I started to ask her questions. What do? You come there and they teach you and they talk to you and they share. And she didn't even know exactly, but basically what she was trying to say, they're giving each customer, each potential prospect customer, an experience. People want an experience. So I checked their website. I Googled it, we can find out, no big deal what this store does. I remembered the name of it. And in big, it said, free stylist. Come and have a free shopping stylist help you shop. Here's the appointments, 4 stylists with different timings. And you can literally go and choose an appointment for free so you can shop and know what to shop and so on. Why am I talking about this? And people are going to this place. They're attracting the people. So we need to shake things up and do things different so we are attractive to the people we want to bring into our business. And this is crucial. And what's important is to figure out, what is it for you? It could be for me one thing, it could be for you something else. So Shackley is teaching how to do wellness communities, which is giving people valuable free information. Remember, if you offer free information that's not valuable, people will not be attracted to it. Okay, so giving away something valuable for free is what attracts people. And if you can get really good at this, you're going to have many people on our BizOp Thursday night every week, because you're going to build attraction to what you are sharing. So for me, Facebook is not something that works in my community. So when they shared with the masters to start these wellness communities in advance to the conference, I went to work thinking, how can I offer this concept in a different way? Now, I don't know if what I'm doing works for you, but maybe what I'm doing can give you a blitz, an idea in your head that you can say, hey, I can do this. This will work with the people I want to attract. So I decided in our community, the phone, the conference line is a big deal. Everybody's advertising and doing different things on the phone. So I said, how can I give this free wellness community on the phone? I bought a hotline and invested in the companies in our community that do it, that does multiple things. And this hotline is a live conference line. It's an archiving. It does broadcasting. You can do voice messaging. It covers all array of things that are needed to run such a group. Now, let me tell you a little secret. It took me 3 months to commit to it. You know, it's hard. I was talking about it for 3 months until I was embarrassed from my team that I wasn't actually doing it. But you know what? Why was I procrastinating? Because I didn't know exactly what to do. Nobody gave it to me on a golden platter. I had to figure it out. And when we need to figure it out, we're afraid of failing or not working out. And then I said, you know what? We just have to do it. So I got my team members together and we discussed it. And I said, we're going to do it. And then one of my team members even committed to it before I gave a date. She already gave a date. And she first did it before me. And we decided that we're going to do a water challenge. Something that's attractive. We felt summer was a great idea. I was not worried about making money or how many people we're going to sponsor. The focus is, how could we attract people to give them valuable information? And I said, I want to do this at least 3 times before I focus on the paid group, on the group that's going to buy something. Why? Because this is going to give me experience. So why am I saying this? Whatever you try, don't worry in the beginning. Like when you put in an ad in a newspaper, you're not expecting that the first person to call is going to be that lucky person. Somebody, after a while of advertising, you're going to get a good response. That's what used to be. So I don't know. Advertising doesn't really work, not for me. So anyway, going into it, just for the experience and as you learn. So we were learning while we're doing it. And I believe people that did wellness communities online were also learning while they were doing it. So just to sum it up, we set a date for the challenge. It was Monday and Tuesday. We did it 2 days because my first team member that did it 3 days and it wasn't good. So we already learned that the 3rd day we didn't get traction and people didn't come on to the call. Okay, so the lesson was to keep it short, to the point, and give them valuable information. So each person that committed on the team to be part of my water challenge was inviting people. We had a couple of days. We didn't give too long notice, so they shouldn't procrastinate. And then on Monday morning, 11 o'clock, everybody joined live to listen to the water challenge breakout, kind of like explaining what it is, what it's going to be. I explained to them that we're going to have 2 live calls. I'm going to send them about 3 broadcast messages each day, and then they could leave me messages with their results. So the water challenge was that I shared everything about water, and you know where I Googled it, like, I mean, no big deal. And you wouldn't believe how surprised the average woman was, how much water they need to drink to stay hydrated and whatever, goes on and on. I gave them a challenge that they had to drink 10 cups of water. And then at the end of the day, leave me a message in my voicemail box on the hotline if they drank the 10 cups of water. But I said, if you leave me a message about a good testimonial or something about your experience of your water drinking, you will go into the drawing a second time. And then I will pick a winner. The first day I picked 1 winner. The second day I picked 2. And you wouldn't believe the messages were coming in and people were thanking us for inviting them, for drinking water. They were feeling better. Nursing mothers were seeing a tremendous difference in how they were feeling and how their baby was feeling. That was just day one. Was very interesting. And I send them out a broadcast message, which means I left a message, and from my system, everybody got a message. So how did I have permission to send the messages? Whoever joined the call agreed. So I got the list of numbers. And after 2 days, we had 80 people that joined and 56 people left messages. I think that is a phenomenal turnout. And the fun part was the messages I was getting, the appreciation. And where I got really excited was this. The first day I drew a winner. And then the next day I drew 2 winners. And then the third day I sent out a message of all the winners. And so everyone should hear there's a winner. And I called everyone had to identify themselves with a phone number. So I called these 3 people that won the prize. Number 1 person told me who her distributor was, a fairly new ambassador in my team, in my downline, that is really serious in building her business. So I was excited that her person won it. And she left me an amazing message. And I also made a place on my hotline. If someone dialed 15, they were able to hear the messages that I posted. So only I can hear the messages that people leave. I filtered it through. Those that were good, I put out so everyone can hear it. So everyone was able to hear what other people were saying. It's similar like online where everyone is posting and everyone can see. This is a little harder, but it worked. It was really inspiring. The fun part was day 2, 2 people won. And the second one, I asked her, hey, Mrs. Friedman, who gave you the phone number of the water challenge? She goes, the Mrs. Noe, the lady that won the first day. And this person is not a distributor and just buying Vitally from a new ambassador. So this got me excited. She doesn't even know who the ambassador is. She was just a referral by a happy person participating in a water challenge, and she gave her the phone number. Isn't this power? This is what we need. We need to build communities of people that are like-minded, want to help each other. And that first person is definitely material of an ambassador because she already shared a phone number before anything.
And
So
that's warm prospecting. That's warm prospecting, not cold prospecting.
Exactly. So how I see it growing the business, I know it's going to take time, but I can see it in a couple of months from now, with God's help, it can really explode, because if we do these consistently, then people are going to bring more people, and people are going to bring more people. And this is how we can identify ambassadors that are giving out the phone number without even having any investment in it, just because this is what they naturally do, right? They know something is valuable and interesting, they share it. And we're going to be able to identify ambassadors and so on. But I think what's important is we as leaders have to be involved, or your key leaders that'll be running it. You know, I have those that are doing it separately as well, to be on the lookout for these little things, because small ambassadors don't realize these things, or directors. But we as leaders could identify possible prospects for business and then invite them to the opportunity call. We don't have to run the opportunity calls ourselves. I'm really thankful to Alan Sharapan for initiating this and inviting me to be one of the speakers. I think it's going to be great, and it's going to be something that everybody can benefit from. So we don't have to do it every time. We from the communities, from the wellness communities that we're doing on any platform, if it's Zoom, in person, WhatsApp, whatever it is, whatever form that you feel comfortable using, the idea is to give free, valuable information. But remember, it has to be valuable. If it's not valuable, then people, won't be attracted. And listen, Ann Westergaard made me chuckle in the airport. I mean, she gave free value. I mean, a drink in the airport in the middle of the night for free is just a phenomenal gesture. So someone listens to you. So we've done this all the years in different formats, but because times have changed, we have to ask ourselves, how could we be attractive in today's market? And that's how we can attract more people into our business.
That's a great
for me.
ending comment. That is excellent ending comment. How can we be more attractive for people? And that you're certainly enthusiastic, and you see the people speaking, and what a great job. Thank you, Shifra. It's the enthusiasm. It's the amount of work and effort that she took to create the action and activity to help others build. It's not about us. If you want to become a leader and you want to build a product business or a organization, it's about thinking of others and how much you can help them. So thank you very much. We're going to move on now for some exciting topics that Barb Madoran is going to share. So Barb, why don't you come on up and share all of the great news about our products that were introduced at conference.
Okay.
Thanks again, Shifra.
Thank you very much. Well, the first product that was introduced were the Vivix gummies. And if you haven't seen them already, they're 3 little serving sizes here. They're covered in sugar and they're very tasty. And Vivix has been around for a long time. And I think some of us take it for granted, or some people don't even really understand what it's about because they've never tried it or never explored, learning about it. And so I'm going to let you go for the details. You can check that out in your back office on the website. But generally what happens is that the polyphenols in Vivix reverse aging in our body. And when our cells age, we age. But if we get these polyphenols into our body, it makes a difference. And one of the things, pardon me, that we found out was that, and Scott, would you put that slide up for me, please? Thank you. One of the things that we found out was that Shackley did a clinical test with healthy people. I don't remember what the number was, but healthy people. And 10 minutes before they ate a McDonald's breakfast, they gave the people on the top line placebo. And they took that placebo, they ate the McDonald's breakfast, and you can see down at the line by 5 hours later how high their inflammation levels had gotten in their body. Now, they waited a period of time. I don't know if it was days. I'm not sure what the parameters were. I have the actual study if anybody wants to take a look at it. But they took the same group of healthy people and they gave them Vivix 10 minutes before they ate a McDonald's breakfast. And look at where that line went. By 5 hours later, the inflammation just kept going down, down, down. And when our cells are not inflamed, we are healthier. All disease comes from inflammation. So when we have this kind of thing going for us in our body, it makes a real difference. Okay, Scott, thanks. Now, one thing that I've heard a concern amongst some people, they look at these little Vivix or they taste them. And some people have said, oh my gosh, they're loaded with sugar. That's going to be a problem. Now, I emailed Torrance Rogers in product support, and I have not heard back from him yet. I'm sure he's got his hands full these days. But I asked him about that. I said, this has been a concern. And yet when I looked on the packaging, one of the ingredients in these little Vivix gummies is something called monk fruit. And if you look up monk fruit has 0 calories and carbs. It will not raise your blood sugar level. And so this is perfect for diabetics or anybody else. So it's going to give you that sweet taste, but it's not going to affect you in a negative way. So again, Shackley's ahead of the game. And when we've got this kind of thing going for us, that's really powerful. Now, an interesting thing I heard that I also ran by Torrance, and I haven't heard from him yet. I ran into a person from one of the Asian countries at the conference who will be nameless. And that person said that in their country, they use Vivix in an interesting way. They use the liquid in the morning because they feel the liquid gets into the body quickly and gets the body and the system going. And then at nighttime, they use the gel caps because it repairs during the night in the body, or helps the body repair better during the night. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but I think it's an interesting concept. And I asked him whether or not he'd heard of it. So that's something that you might want to check out with him too. There are also a couple things about Vivix that we found out, that the kosher Vivix seems to be particularly helpful with lung issues. And that the kosher Vivix also is very important when you're dealing with prostate issues. So that's something to keep in mind. And you might want to look into that further too. But we've had, verified cases where that's been a difference. And then one thing, and then I'll go on to something else. Macular degeneration is something that runs in my family. And my dad had it, my mom had it. My dad had the wet type, which is the less attractive kind to have. And mine has been there for a long time, and my doctor has just been watching it, and it's been fine. But what happened was, some of you remember who Dr. Dagny was. He was our vice president of research and development and science. And he did an experiment with some people. It's been a number of years ago now. But what he did was he had two doctors in Kentucky. They had 34 patients who had a dry form of macular degeneration. When those doctors had their patients using Vivix, I don't know how much, 75% improved their eyesight, where it would usually continue to decline. Now, my doctor knows that I'm on Shackley. She doesn't recommend that I take the AREDS vitamins that you can get from her office or from other offices, because she looks at our Shackley vitamins and she says, you've got everything in there. You're just fine. You just keep doing what you're doing. And I'm doing fine. But what they found, when you've got macular degeneration, there's something called drusen along your retina. It's kind of a problem of a garbage disposal. It's when the retina sloughs off cells, these pile up in places, and normally your immune cells come and they clean them up. And sometimes that doesn't happen. So that's what makes macular degeneration worse. Well, what they found was that a 67-year-old woman had major improvement. An 83-year-old woman had hers totally gone. A 72-year-old with type 2 diabetes after 12 months had a major improvement. And it just went on and on and on. And so he said, people were saying, well, aren't you going to do clinicals? He says, clinicals cost so much money. And then the FDA comes down on you and says, well, now it's a drug because it's getting rid of some of these things. And so we're going to have to regulate. So Shackley doesn't want that to happen. So use these kinds of things, with the information that you have, experiment with them, work with your doctors and say, if I was willing to work with you and you could work with me on some of these things, would you be open to that? Now, going beyond the Vivix gummies, the Vivix gummies are here now. The next product that will be introduced that I'm really excited about is the Palmifera lip oil. This is Shackley's first joint product with Palmifera. And it's a colored lip oil that is not sticky, but it penetrates well. Now, I have lived in the desert for most of my life. And so I am a person, and Sue Holder knows this too, I am a person who I use the lip stuff all the time. So this is wonderful because it's going to save us and it'll make us look a little better at the same time. So that's September. October, we're going to have something called Shackley Multitaskers. There are 5 different products. Cheer Up and Chill Out is for stress and mood. Up and Glowing is for energy and beauty. Rest and Rewind is for sleep and aging. Gut Health and Go is for gut health and regularity. And Flora and Flow is for vaginal and urinary tract problems. Now, all of them are a great idea, I think, because there's certainly a market out there for all of these things. The two that I seem to hear the most about these days are gut issues. It seems like everybody's either gluten sensitive or they're, something with the gut is going on. So I think that one's going to be very popular and very well taken immediately. And then I have never had a urinary tract infection or any kind of a problem like that. Maybe because of all the years I've been on Shackley. I have no clue. But I hear of more people on a weekly basis that have had them, not just once or twice, but consistently over and over and over again. So I think the market for these kinds of products is going to be something that's really going to make a difference. We will be able to bring value to people that they've never had an opportunity to have before. So those are the new products. There'll be more things coming out between October and Christmas, but you'll hear about those later. Thanks, Joanne.
Well, thank you, Barb. It's wonderful. You give such great information, and the way you say it really resonates with me. So thank you very much. I decided to ask my best friend, Pam Budner. I was talking to her on the phone the other day, and she had some exciting news about how she's using the Vivix cards, pamphlets, and talking about Gen H. So Pam, would you share a little bit with us?
Sure. So I wasn't able to get to conference this year, but I was really excited to start digesting all the stuff which was posted immediately. So thank you, Shackley, for not holding back, and for everyone who emailed and sent links to. I just listened to Roger's intro of the Vivix gummies, but I just will very quickly, Shifra, to your point, how can we be more attractive? And I was so excited when I heard about Gen H that I thought, I'm going to Google what is the definition of branding in marketing. And so this is what I found. Branding is about making consumers feel good about supporting a company and establishing an emotional connection. Those that brand effectively create a lasting impression that helps grow advocacy and loyalty among customers for the long term. Now, isn't that what Generation H is giving us? I am ready to give an Academy Award to the person in the marketing department who developed Gen H, because I just got so excited, because it really speaks to all of us who've been in Shackley for decades, as well as the new people coming on, young and young at heart, wellness obsessed, science savvy, rooted in nature. I think of the Holdrens, glass half fullers, step counters, health seekers. It doesn't matter what age you are. So now we have, something I think that can make us more attractive if we use all these marketing assets that Shackley has. I have a new postcard coming out with that marketing language on. I do a postcard mailing to my organization every month. And now I'm going to really promote the Generation Health concept. And I was so excited about gummies. Thank you, Barb, for all that great science. And I was excited to know that monk fruit is the sparkly stuff on the outside of the gummy, not sugar, because most gummies have sugar on them. And I was also excited to get that glass jar. I mean, it's so beautiful. And I have a friend come over, a neighbor, who uses some Shackley products. She hasn't dipped her feet into the Vivix well yet. No gel tabs, no liquid. But gummies have this universal appeal. And I said to her, Sarah, we've got something new. Can I just introduce it to you? And I got the brochure out. I said, take this home and try a gummy. And I opened the jar. I had her hold the jar and take one out. And she said, boy, these are really good. I said, yeah, and they repair your DNA that gets damaged just from being a human on the planet. They're so easy to share. It's so much easier than taking another tablet or pouring a liquid, on a spoon. And the jar is beautiful. And I've just been telling people this jar goes on our table, and every night we have dessert. We have our 3 gummies for dessert, and maybe a piece of chocolate too.
And what are you doing with the pamphlets?
Oh, the pamphlet. Yeah. So again, because I'm so excited about this, and because finally we get a brochure that we don't have to go and buy envelopes for, because all you have to do is tape it closed and put a first class piece of stamp on it, postage, and then I just write a little sticky note and stick it inside, and it's a little personal note, and it just says, "Hi, Elise, I thought that you might like to know about this wonderful way to fight cellular damage," or I try to make a note relatable to the person I'm sending this to. But I think, what if everyone in our database started buying Vivix gummies? What would that do? And what if they each told 5 or 10 or 20 people about Vivix gummies? They have such a universal appeal. I'm just really excited about it.
Well, I love all, thank you, Pam, and I
Yeah.
loved what you told me earlier. It was really exciting and it got me motivated to do different things. And Barb, what you talked about with the Chinese use, I'm going to turn into a Vivix bottle next time you see me. So, but I loved what you said about how they were using it, that they use the the drink in the morning and that they did the gels at night, and the gummies can be for dinner. So we're all covered now with all three. So thank you all very much. And without further ado, I'd like to have Carolyn Whiteman, who's going to share her highlights and thoughts about moments of the conference. Carolyn,
Did Rob have some events?
did Rob have?
Ray Madoran.
Oh, I'm sorry, I
No,
passed
that's
Ray.
okay. No, that's
Sorry,
okay.
Ray.
That's
Well,
what
Ray,
that's what I
Ray,
thought.
why don't
No,
you pick up?
that's okay. Hey, we've
No,
got
no,
so many.
Ray, that's important. It's important. The events are important.
Okay.
The events are important.
Okay, but you're the boss, Carolyn. So
Yeah, right. Right.
I'm sorry, Ray. I just
that's okay.
missed you there.
That's okay. Just real quick. What I really like about this is that I think that the field is starting to do what the field is supposed to be doing. The field trains the field. And we've given that up for a while, and I think we're taking it back with what Ellen and those masters are going to be doing and doing presentations. What I'm seeing happening now in events across the country, and we're going to see more and more of it. In September 30th in Pennsylvania, Jeff Boltinghouse is having, and these events are all in person. This isn't Zoom. This is all in person. In New York, the Truvels will probably be the host for the home office announcements, and that's October the 14th. That's coming up. Scott Palmer is doing something October 21st in New England. So he's going to have a group of people together there. In the Carolinas, it's the fourth weekend in November, and that's kind of to be determined, but they want to do something in the Carolinas. In Dallas, they
I
want to
think
do
it's
something.
the first weekend in November. I
Is
may
it
have
first
said that wrong.
weekend?
Yeah,
okay.
maybe Ann Westergaard knows better, but I think it's the first weekend.
Okay, first
So we
weekend
don't
in
get
November.
We don't get confused with Thanksgiving.
Dallas is talking about having something in October as well, about the middle of October, the 23rd. Naples, October 7th, and I'm not sure who's going to be hosting that. In Miami, Carolyn and Scott Palmer are going to do something in January of 2024. And then Dee Dee in West Palm Beach, and that's to be determined. But things are starting to happen, and masters are starting to put together things on a local basis where they can get people together. We have found out in Kansas City, we have found out in Anaheim, people want to be together. It makes it's so much better when you're there with people and be able to talk and to be able to hug people and be able to be with people and converse. It's so much better than doing it by Zoom. But we do have Zoom things as well. We've got the Solid Start, which the next one is August the 22nd. Solid Start with we got 4 or 5 masters that put on that program. Carolyn, Scott Palmer, Roland, Marty Frederick, and Joyce Hoffman, and it is amazing what they do. It's kind of if somebody says yes, I'm interested in the business, what do you do next? This will tell you what to do next. If you will go to the Solid Start, take anybody you want to. Anybody can go to this. From anybody, from a brand new person to master coordinators, are going to learn something anytime they go to Solid Start. That's usually what the third Thursday of the month. Another Zoom is the queso training, which the next one I think is probably not until October sometime. And that's the second or so Thursday of the month.
And I'm
MC
sure all of those things will also be announced and the information will be sent
They-
out to everybody.
They will, yeah,
That would be helpful,
Yep.
yeah.
yep, they sure will. They sure, in fact, I can send what I have, I can send to Scott as well.
That'd be great to have
Yep.
all of that so that there, it's more specific and we can, unless, I know it's so fast that you're going through it, that we could have it listed, so besides all the other things that we'll also be doing with our own groups and ideas that we have going, so that's
Okay.
great. Do you have others you want to add?
There were just two more. There was the MC Mentors on Tuesday night. Roland does a coaching call with about 40, 50, 60 people that are on that call. Anybody can come to that. The OPA Masters that we do, what we're doing tonight, we do this monthly as well. And then there's an opportunity presentation as well as the one that Alan and crew are going to be doing on a Monday night. That is the Circle of Success, Pinnacle of Circles of Success that Dr. Queso came up with. And there's probably about 12 or 14 people that take turn doing that presentation every Monday night, 8 o'clock Central. But I will send that to Scott and he can put that with the rest of the information on
That's
OPA stuff.
great, because I know that I would love to see it written up and,
Sure.
because then we can pick and choose to say, where do we want to go? How do we want to do it? I encourage all of us to do what Shifra did, is she chose what was right for her business and her tools, what made her feel good, and how she felt authentic to herself and could do it. So even though we're showing you all the material and everything, please choose wisely for you and your team and how you're going to implement it for your own growth. Thanks, Ray. Sorry to
Okay.
have you rush through that and that I missed you.
That's
We're
okay, no
coming
problem.
up to the bottom of the hour here. So Carolyn, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Joanne,
Yeah,
just one quick insertion while we're on dates, please. The September 14th was not September 14th. We had a calendar glitch. It's September 7th, the first Thursday in September and each Thursday thereafter. And it
okay.
will be a Zoom call. We'll send all the information out. Thank
All
you.
right, and that'll also be on OPA. Will you
Yes.
send it so we can have it listed
Yes.
on the OPA group?
Yes.
Great, thank you. Thank you. I'm a stickler on keeping us on time, can you tell? Okay, everybody, let's have Carolyn come on.
Oh, I'll be really quick with such a great overview. What I'd like to share is the inspiration that I have in coming home. And that inspiration is brought to me by a wonderful expression in Spanish, which is salud, amor y dinero y tiempo para gustarlas, which is the things that we all want. The salud, health, amor, love, but also community, wellness, fellowship, the ability to be connected, and dinero, the money, and the time to enjoy it. And so what I'm inspired by is all of these different pieces that we have just really talked about, and how I celebrate the fact that we have a vehicle. We have a vehicle that we can use to create in our communities some solutions for some of these issues. Because everybody is looking for ways to move sick care into well care. That's what Generation H is all about. People are looking for the ability to connect with other people that are like-minded, that are simpatico, that are kind, that are thoughtful. And that's what the wellness communities can be. And that's also what our whole Shackley family is about. And then dinero, the idea that we can provide some financial resources for people. You've heard me say a million times, I'm not motivated by money, but I'm very motivated by what happens if we don't have money, and the people whose lives are so constrained by not having access to a little bit of extra funds, who have to look at the bottom line for everything they spend. And what we want to be in a position to do is offer people a way to really move that sick community into a wellness community where we can give people the gift of good health and a community to support them and some financial resources to support us. So to me, Shackley is our vehicle. Does it have to be the only one? No, but we're very blessed that this is a vehicle that we're all a part of. And I just think that's my inspiration from coming back from conference and also from having these great ideas from everyone tonight. So Joanne, thanks for putting all of this together.
Well, thank you all. I mean, I'm privileged, honored, delighted, all of the attendees. It's so great to see you. And it is 9:30. We are on time. I know that, everybody is busy. I just want to encourage you to be at the conference after it's announced and where we all go so we can have a great OPA dinner on Rob Loomis. And it should be a great fun time to get together. We missed all of you that weren't there. Thank you for joining us tonight, and thank you to all the speakers. Nighty night.
Thanks, Joanne.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Joanne.
Thank you,
Thank you.
guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's
Thank
great.
you, everybody.
Thank you.
Good night.